is Jennifer Sanchez. You are watching the Wise Coffee Chat Show. Super excited to be here this morning. You guys are in for a treat because I am excited for my guest, the founder of the Mikey O Show, as well as he has a plethora of things, and I'll let him introduce himself. But I thought, you know what? This is someone that's like a big person in the Chicagoland area in production, in comedy, in showcasing. So super excited. How are you,
I'm
Mikey?
doing great. Thank you so much for having me here. Thank you. It
Yeah.
took the coffee to get me in, everybody. It took the coffee, the Oaxacan coffee to get me in. So
That's all that it took was me to say, let's go have some coffee in
that's
the
it.
show,
El
right?
cafecito del día. Those of you who follow me know it's all about el cafecito del día. So,
Yes, yes. So before we go into the store, I wanted to make sure you guys know who I am. My name is Jennifer Sanchez. I'm the founder of the Wise Alliance Network, as well as Wise, which is a women's organization. I put on together networking events, conferences, retreats, you name it. Just go to wisealliancenetwork.com to learn more. And then, of course, I'm also a real estate investor. So if anyone's looking to sell their home, let me know. I buy property cash, no surveys, yeah, no fees. You're gonna deal with all that. Let's wait for the mortgage to close and all that stuff. That's who I am. But definitely, I want to lean it over to Mikey. Mikey,
yeah.
want to introduce yourself to our viewers?
Yeah. Well, I don't buy anything cash. I have no money. My name is Michael Kendall, Mikey O. I'm the founder of the Mikey O Show. We started out as just a bunch of comedy hobbyists about 25 years ago, and a hobby that turned into a business, and then a business that grew, and we became kind of like a hub and a home and a workout and a gym for Latino comedy in Chicago, and that's who we are. Yeah,
That is awesome.
yeah.
Awesome. So, I mean, I've been following Mikey for some time now. I mean, I've been watching your stuff, and I've always been like, man, when are we gonna connect? Like, when are we
Yeah.
gonna actually? When are the stars gonna align so that we actually work together, do something together? And here we are,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Finally.
Well, here we are. It took coffee.
It took
It took
coffee,
coffee.
which is both our joy, right?
Yeah. Well, I think that it was time because I also, you mentioned everything you do, and I also follow you, and I also have been following your movement throughout the city, and you're activating people and activating communities, and those are my favorite kind of people. So
Yeah, no, we're both big small business entrepreneurs or supporters.
yeah,
But I wanted to definitely ask you your story, your journey,
yeah.
right? I think you're definitely an inspiration, especially to the Latino
Oh,
community, right?
yeah.
Definitely, even like engaging with you, I've noticed like, oh wow, you carry yourself with a lot of charisma, a lot of uh, I don't know, courage, bravery, suaveness. I don't know what the word is
Yeah,
correctly, but
yeah.
definitely you stand out in a crowd. So
Oh,
I just
yeah.
wanted
That's
to
because I
share
talk too
that.
much.
Yeah,
That's because
so
I talk
so
a
it
lot.
makes
Yeah,
sense because you've been in production for so long. So
yeah,
how did you get into this whole world of production
yeah.
and comedy and stuff like that?
Yeah. Well, I mean, first of all, the reality of it is that if I was going to say that there was a plan, that would be not true. This was a hobby. I'm a huge, huge fan of comedy my entire life, and every time I saw a Latino on TV, I mean, I know pretty much, an incredible amount of history of Latinos on TV.
Yeah.
My sister Lydia brought home an album, Freddie Prince Live at Mr. Kelly's, which was a place here. We're talking a long, long time ago. And when I talk about Freddie Prince, I'm talking about Freddie Prince, the father, not Freddie Prince, the
Yeah.
son.
Okay.
Freddie Prince was, a lot of things about Freddie Prince that, people, need to know. He was, of course, he was a Puerto Rican and Hungarian, called himself the Hungarican. And he was an amazing drummer, and he got into comedy, and he was the first person to perform at the White House, the first Puerto Rican to perform at the White House.
Oh wow.
The reason that people sit down, comedians are invited to sit at the chair on late night shows today,
Okay.
are because of Freddie Prince. Johnny Carson invited him to sit down and had a conversation with him on his show, on the Johnny Carson show, and the ratings blew up. And then Johnny Carson said, from now on, the producer said, from now on, the comedian sits with Johnny Carson. So there's a lot of firsts there. Chico and the Man, for those of you who are old enough to remember the Chico and the Man show. Freddie Prinze was kind of like, my hero growing up, because it was the first time I heard a guy talk about this funny stuff that was happening in my house from a Puerto Rican perspective. And when I heard that audience on that album, when I heard, and it's still a brilliant album. For those of you who can get access to it, Freddie Prinze live at Mr. Kelly's, especially young comedians, go there and listen to what writing, is supposed to be like.
That's
But
awesome.
Freddie Prinze was my, kind of like, it stayed in my head for a long time. And again, why? Because he was talking about the Puerto Rican experience. He was talking about, roaches. We had roaches, right? Talked about, being on welfare. We were on welfare, right? So I'm like, yeah. And you know what? That is my experience. But then I went to see John Leguizamo, Spicorama, live at the Berry Street Theater, Halsted and Berry, which, for those of you who don't know, is now where Blue Man Group is.
Oh, nice.
And then when I left that theater, I was with my cousin Johnny V, and when I left that theater, I was like, you know what? I want to put our stories on stage,
Wow.
And
I love that.
that's how it took off.
That's how it took
That's how
off.
it took off. The thing is that we didn't have enough comedians back then.
Yeah.
In fact, Alex Ortiz, who was the only Latino comedian in Chicago at that time, was the comedian. And then we didn't discover, she was around a long time before us, but then we found and crossed paths with Patty Vasquez, the only Latina comedian at that time.
Really?
In Chicago, yeah.
Okay.
So Patty Vasquez and Alex Ortiz are really the people who were the first Latinos on stage, as far as I'm concerned, doing comedy. And crossed paths with them, and then decided I was going to do a show. But the problem is that, Latino audiences were not used to going to comedy clubs because, they just weren't. Well, when I say they're not used to, it's not like they didn't want to, but we didn't have, Zanies didn't book Latino comedians on a regular basis. There wasn't the Improv. There wasn't the Laugh Factory. And
we had Don Francisco. Like that's
Don Francisco.
Is that really it?
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, but that's how it kind of started. And then all of a sudden we did a show, and we got 10 people, and then we got 40 people, and then we got 70 people, and then we got 200 people, and then we got 500 people. And then next thing you know, a few years after that, we're booking 1,500 seat theaters here, New York, Los Angeles. Ellie Castro and I developed our relationship, an amazing writer, an amazing actor, performer who has written, I believe he's on like 9 or 10 one-person shows, of which I've produced all of them, except his first one, Malcriado. But there was the building of the audiences. And so that's where I learned early on, especially for the young entrepreneurs that are watching this, that's where I learned early on, you got the product, but where's the audience, right? You got the product, but where are the buyers?
Yeah.
And so I knew that if I built the audience, that I would get ahead of the game, because I had one thing that nobody else had, none of the other theater companies had, and none of the other comedy clubs had, which was I had an audience.
Wow.
And I figured, okay, if I get the audience, I can dominate, and I can, get ahead of this.
So you are one of the main Latino production companies in Chicagoland. We were talking about that earlier, right?
Well, I will say that I am.
Or the first one, I should say. I apologize.
Definitely the first one.
Yes.
Definitely the first one. I like to always look back at a conversation. Joey Villagomez and I were backstage with Fluffy at the Chicago Theater, and I'm not name dropping. You'll see where this is going. And I never forget this. Fluffy is looking out into the audience.
Yeah.
And he said something that stuck in my head.
Okay,
And
I love
he
Fluffy.
said, and he said this. Now remember, he's got 3,500 people in the audience. It's sold out.
Yeah.
Got it? He hasn't gone on stage yet. and we're standing by the side of the stage, and he looks out into the audience and he goes, you know, I don't claim to be the best. I just claim to work really hard.
Wow.
And that's what I want to, that's how I want to answer your question. I'm not the best at anything, but I work really, really hard.
Yeah.
When we have never really had an opportunity in this city, right, to have a gym, a platform for Latino comedians to build, because the old saying, oh, if you're going to make it big, you got to go to L.A. You got to
Yeah.
make it big.
Yeah,
You got to
that's
go
what
to
I hear all the
California.
time. Yeah.
You got to go to New York. And so hopefully that's a little bit about what I brought to the table, right? I never wanted to be as, I think I said this earlier. I
Yeah.
never thought about being the king, but the kingmaker. I like the role of the kingmaker better.
Oh, I like that. So not
So
the king, you're the man that's behind the scenes, or you're the force that likes to
yeah,
catapult people, right?
yeah,
And I think that's why we get along really well, because I notice on your social media you always go to restaurants, you always want to support the small business.
yeah.
You have the nonprofit organization. Can you tell us a little bit about that nonprofit
Yeah. So
organization?
my nonprofit organization is kind of like an unofficial nonprofit, because it is not a 501c3, but it is Comedians for Communities.
Sure.
And so, what's Comedians for Communities? Well, early on, we would always get people who thought we had a lot of money ask us for money. And then we would be like, well, I'll tell you what, we're not going to give you money for your nonprofit, but what we'll do is we'll build a show, right? And we'll do a ticket share,
Yeah.
in which, they sell their tickets for $30 and give us back 5, and they keep 25. But through that, we've been able to help little leagues and breast cancer organizations and mentoring programs, and all kinds of organizations here in Chicago for years.
Yeah.
For years. And so that's the nonprofit component of it, called Comedians for Communities. And it works out well. We're getting ready to announce tomorrow, we're getting ready to announce our breast cancer awareness show with Humboldt Park Health. We're getting ready to announce our Midway Chamber of Commerce show. We're getting ready to announce St. Robert Bellarmine. We just announced the Base Baseball League. These are all nonprofit events that, when you go to a comedy club and you pay at the comedy club, typically that money is for profit. But in this case, the nonprofit gets the door at those events.
Oh, and that's great. I mean, that you do that, you have an initiative. And it's funny because you said, like, a lot of people will come to you, they'll ask for money, and you're like, okay, well, how can I use my platform to support?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that's great, because a lot of people lose that touch. They have a platform and then they forget about what to do with it. They don't know what to utilize it for sometimes, right? They just use it to make money, which is fine. I'm not knocking that down, but then you can use that also to do good.
Well, the thing is here's the bigger part of this, right? So make no mistake about it. When we do our general market shows, we make money. There's no mistake about it. It's a business.
For
It's there to
sure.
make money, right? But we are firm believers that it's impossible for us, for me, to make money in this community, but then not be there when they need me,
Okay.
right? Because
Yeah.
the parents at my, the parents that come to my shows, they have kids in Little League. Those Little Leagues need
Yeah.
us. So we're there for them. And I think the relationship is wonderful. They support us, we support the community, and the relationship goes round and round and round. And it's a healthy one, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So you started that. So I know you were saying you were trying to name drop earlier, but like, just to give an idea to the listeners
Yeah.
and the viewers, like, who have you worked with, in the industry?
Yeah. So, Felipe Esparza, TJ Miller, Cameo, here locally, Joey Villagomez, Gwen La Roca, all of which have been on TV.
Gwen La Roca, I love her.
Gwen La Roca is a shining star.
Yes,
Joey
she
Villagomez
is.
is a shining star. Alex Ortiz, of course, one of the local anchors here, and I'm talking local anchors here, who is on television. Ana Belaval, who
Oh, yeah, Ana.
does our comedy shows.
Yeah.
But on the bigger scale, Brian Red, who was on Saturday Night Live, and of course Felipe Esparza was best story about Felipe Esparza is Felipe and I had done a few shows, and then like a month later he wins Last Comic Standing and then blew up from there. You know, he was the winner. You know,
Yeah.
so we've had the pleasure of working with a lot of comedians, Hannibal Buress, um, uh, and understand that when these guys were doing the shows at Joe's, right? Nobody knew. None of us. Nobody knew where none of this was going. Right?
Sure.
We were trying to build audiences. They were trying to build careers. But Chicago has pumped out a lot of Latino. Let me tell you something. Friday night, I went to a show.
Hmm.
I saw an improv show here. Okay, with about 25 brilliant Latino comedic actors. I mean, this was funny. The writing was great. The writing was amazing. And I told my friend that was with me. I said, you know, you do realize that 20 years ago this was not here,
Mm.
right? This was not here. You did not have this. I think at that time we had Salsation. Salsation was and continues to be amazing. And there was Geraldo, who was and continues to be amazing. But now we're talking about 20. I'm talking about a theater full of improv and sketch, Latino and Latina, Latinx sketch and improv performers. That's a big deal.
For
That's
sure.
a big deal. So that's really cool to see.
Yeah, especially if you've been part of the game and you've kind of watched and you've been part of the transition. Like, how does that make you feel, right? Like
Yeah.
to see all of this transition happen.
Well, one of the things, more importantly, is that comedians write their materials, and I tell people all the time when they give me credit for somebody doing well, I always say to them, I didn't write one joke. My job again is to provide that platform, right? Because sometimes here's the deal. Sometimes this happens with musicians as well. Why did you make an album?
Yeah.
So that the same 17 friends would listen to it? Tell the world who you are. If you come to me, when comedians come to me, I'm always like, but you're bigger than that. I want you to be bigger than that. Where's your headshot? Where's your bio? Right?
Mm.
What is your presence on social media? Do you have a hate-filled platform? Right? I mean, sometimes we get that, and maybe I've seen this in real estate too.
Mm.
Right? Sometimes you'll see this on a real estate platform where you'll see somebody, well, I've got this amazing house for sale in Berwyn. It's this, it's this, it's that, it's this, it's that. And then 2 posts later, they're doing shots half naked at a bar. No, but you know what I mean? And I'm like, okay, you
It's
had me,
true.
you had me on the sale of the house,
Yeah.
but now, right? You're not somebody that I don't. You're not somebody I think I want to do business with when you're on your platform hating on women or hating on your ex or hating or being political. Pick a side.
Yeah, I could see that, especially now that makes sense when you bring it to that because I think a lot of times people are not really educated on the professional side,
That's right.
on how to be professional,
Yeah.
how to carry yourself a certain way. And like you said, musicians, I'm pretty sure it's the same thing because they're just trying to make music and be creatives.
Yeah.
And I notice this because I'm at the media school, right? And a lot of them are musicians. So you see that they're creative, they're creating things, but the professional side, right?
Yeah.
They forget or they lack or they don't know any better,
Yeah.
right? And the same thing with the real estate side because they're young, they're straight out of high school. A lot of them, they just see, oh, money, I could be rich, I could make all this wealth.
Yeah.
And it's a party hardy. That industry is such a big industry of just partying.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah. Well, if you're doing that, then that's okay. But what I'm saying is that is if you're in any kind, if you're an insurance agent or you're a realtor or any real business, period,
Yeah.
you have to understand that there's a certain amount of professionalism that has to
course.
come with what it is that you're selling. So if you're posting about a building and if you're posting about the amazing work that you do in the real estate community, keep it there because
Yeah.
the next post should not be baby mama drama, right? It should not be conflict. It bring me to the page. So we get that a lot. I get comedians that'll call me and say, hey, I had one the other day. Hey, I want to do your show. Let me know when I can do your show. Now,
Well,
I mean, am I going to walk in tomorrow to Microsoft and say, hey, I know how to program. Let me know when I can start. No.
Oh, yeah.
Where's your bio? Where's your headshot? Send me a demo. talk to me, introduce yourself, make me want to say, I
Yes.
want to work with you.
Actually, I can relate with that because even with networking events or when I bring in public speakers, a lot of times people will be like, "Oh, I want to be a public speaker on your stage." Like, okay, well, why? Like,
Yeah.
what value do you bring to me?
Yeah.
And do you support me? One thing I always pay attention to is, do you support me originally?
Yeah,
Or are you
that's
just trying to take advantage of the platform that
right.
I have because you know I have the platform? So if you never show up to any of my events, you never watch my videos, you never show up,
Yeah.
then you're like, oh, now you want to be on my stage,
Yeah.
right? Not that I have like you, of course, you have a massive stage, right?
Yeah.
But I'm doing, the smaller networking events, and I've caught that too myself. So I can understand, like, bring forth, why should I hire you? Why should
Yeah.
I bring you on? Why should I give you this exposure? So I love that.
Well, also, I am a huge supporter of small businesses.
Yes.
My father was a small business person. My father had grocery stores in the city, and he was a small business person. My heart is there for the small business people.
Yeah.
But also, I'm not interested in pampering them too much. In other words, okay, because I'll get a phone call. Oh my God, I would love for you to try my food. You would love my food. Okay. But then I get to the restaurant, and maybe the restaurant is dirty, and maybe the bathrooms are filthy, and maybe the tables are dirty, and I'm like, yo, I'm not gonna go live here. First of all, I'm not an influencer. Okay. My issue with influencers and people who hire influencers is this: you're gonna pay an influencer $2,000 or $3,000.
Yeah.
To write about your place. It's always the same thing. Let me tell you about my favorite quesadillas, right? It's always the same thing. But I always ask those people who call me who think I'm an influencer. I get 1 or 2 calls a week. They think I'm an influencer. How much do you charge to come in and do my restaurant? But I always say to them, let me ask you a question. Are you engaging with every single person that comes in your restaurant? Are you asking them, hey, if you enjoyed the food, throw something on social media about me. Give me a like, give me a comment. Hey, did you take pictures of the food?
Yeah.
Throw them on my page, right? Because if you've got 300 customers a week, you've got 300 influencers a week.
Yeah.
Shame on you for not using them right.
That's a big.
Shame on you
That's
for not
true.
using them right.
Google reviews, all that.
So what these restaurants are doing and what these people are doing, they're looking for the shortcut. They're looking for a quick, right? They want to blow up quickly without doing the work. But the work comes in making sure that you are acknowledging and praising every single customer. Every single person that comes to my show, every single person owns the show. When people say to me, oh my God, you're so lucky, you have no bosses. Oh, hold on a second. How many people were at the show? 227. I got 227 bosses.
Oh, wow. Why? That's a great way of seeing
because
it.
If 227 people go to my page and say that was the worst show ever,
that is such a good
gonna shut
point.
it down quicker than that.
Wow, that is so true, and people don't realize that. Like, yeah, you're an entrepreneur, you're in for yourself, but you have clients, you have people that are actually like critiquing you, so they're essentially kind of like your bosses. I never thought about it like that.
That really is the truth, and there is. It happens in comedy. It happens in theater. It happens in my concerts, right? I'm very proactive on safety.
Yeah.
I've got 1,500 people in a room for a show.
Yeah, so we're gonna continue this conversation because it's a good conversation. We want to make sure we give credit to Fresno's that's here on Fullerton and Austin Avenue for letting us use their space. Shout out to their coffee. But we'll be right back. Take this quick 30-second commercial break, and we'll be right back. Thank you.
All right, let's do that.
I'm Trey Westerberg on 1410 WRMN Elgin, proudly serving the Fox River Valley.
Brought to you by Sky Rizzi. 2 people, including a 2-year-old, were hospitalized on Wednesday evening after a crash at Douglas Road and Fernwood Road in Oswego. The crash occurred around 7:35 p.m. after a Lexus driven by a 66-year-old Aurora woman failed to yield at the intersection. The Lexus was headed north on Douglas Road when the driver turned onto westbound Fernwood Road without yielding to a Hyundai, which was driving south on Douglas Road. The Hyundai driver, a 28-year-old South Carolina woman and the child passenger were both hospitalized with injuries. The Aurora woman received a citation for failure to yield at an intersection, and the South Carolina woman was cited for a child restraint violation. A Naperville man was killed when his Harley-Davidson motorcycle struck a fence Wednesday night. Officers responded to the crash just after 10 p.m. at the intersection of North Napier Boulevard and Plank Road to find a 2016 Harley-Davidson Fat Bob on the east side of the road, lying on its side with heavy damage. The operator of the motorcycle was unresponsive. The driver received emergency medical care at the scene from the Lyle Woodridge Fire District and was taken to Advocate Good Samaritan Hospital in Downers Grove, where he was pronounced dead. Anyone who may have witnessed the crash or has any other information is asked to contact Naperville Police at 630-420-6117. Former Kane County Coroner Rob Russell announced Wednesday his bid for sheriff in the 2026 election. Russell served 3 terms as coroner from 2012 to 2024. He kicked off his campaign for sheriff with a fundraiser event attended by friends, family, and supporters, according to a news release. Sheriff Hayne, who has served since his first election in 2018, will step down at the end of his second term. Hayne backed under Sheriff Amy Johnson, who announced she will seek the Democratic nomination for sheriff next April ahead of the November 3rd, 2026 general election. As coroner, Russell secured more than $2 million in federal funding for the creation of a regional forensic lab in Kane County. He also advocated for and assisted with the design of a new coroner's office and state-of-the-art morgue facility, according to a news release.
I'm Trey Westerberg on 1410 WRMN Elgin, proudly serving the Fox River Valley.
Let's go! You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at VaxAssist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
If you didn't think skipping breakfast was a big deal, you'd be right. Before. But now, Wendy's has Buck Biscuits. We're talking sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit, bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit, or even the Honey Buddy chicken biscuit for just $1 each. Seriously, you can get all 3 if you want. They're just $1, so you'll never skip breakfast again. If you're smart. Breakfast for $1? Gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only. Price and participation may vary. Limit 5 qualifying items per transaction. Not valid in the combo while supplies last.
For nearly 50 years, the DuPage Senior Citizens Council and Kane Senior Council have been dedicated to serving seniors in DuPage and Kane counties. Established in 1975, the DuPage Senior Citizens Council is a volunteer-driven 501c3 non-for-profit organization committed to helping older adults live with dignity. From providing nutritious meals to offering support services, the Kane Senior Council is there every step of the way. With programs designed to enhance independence and quality of life, they're proud to make a difference in the lives of their senior neighbors. To learn more or to volunteer, visit them at 418B Airport Road in Elgin or head to their website at caneseniorcouncil.org. Give them a call at 630-338-0999. That's 630-338-0999. That's the Kane Senior Council, caring for seniors because they deserve to live with dignity and respect. Visit caneseniorcouncil.org or call 630-338-0999 today.
This is Sarah Silver with your Fox Valley forecast. Today, a chance of showers and thunderstorms with partly sunny skies and a high near 87. It feels like 97. Tonight, mostly cloudy with a low around 70 and a chance of showers and thunderstorms. Tomorrow, partly sunny with a high near 84 and a chance of showers and thunderstorms. Currently, it is 74 and overcast. I'm Sarah Silver on the Talk of the Town, WRMN.
If you need to hire, you know it takes time. Well, what if you could meet with qualified candidates the very next day? Now you can with Zip Intro from ZipRecruiter. You simply pick a time and it does all the work of finding and scheduling qualified candidates for you. Then you choose who you want to talk to and meet with great people on back-to-back video calls as soon as the next day.
Try Zip Intro for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. Zip Intro. Post jobs today. Talk to qualified candidates tomorrow.
We are back. Super excited to be here. And as you can see, we are at Fresno's Restaurant right now. Gotta give them credit. 6012 West Fullerton Avenue in Chicago. And what are you eating?
Amazing mole.
Amazing mole. Let me hold the mic so you can talk.
amazing mole. The mole is incredible. What a treat. Please bring me back here every Monday. I'll do the show every Monday for mole.
She has a Mole Mondays
Mole
here. And I'm super excited to be here and support her because she is a new restaurant owner in the area, which is why I was like, this is great because we can definitely give her some exposure, talk about her on the air. And then her coffee, Café de Olla, bomb. Just
Delicious.
amazing. And if you don't know what Café de Olla is, you got to go try it. Go to a Mexican restaurant, try it. It is essentially brown sugar and cinnamon,
Cinnamon, yeah.
right? And coffee. It's
Delicious.
a treat.
Delicious.
But thank you for everyone that's watching and listening. And if you're on Facebook, shout out to my Facebook family that's watching. I see you guys. But I wanted to talk back with Mikey about his story with his dad because he grew up with an entrepreneurial dad, right? And I think I wanted to kind of chime in a little bit more and learn a little bit more about that because that's really where you learned a lot of your entrepreneurial skills, would you say, right?
Well, my dad came here from Puerto Rico, and then my dad, like most Puerto Ricans at that time, went to work at a factory in Chicago, and then up in New Jersey, and then back to Chicago. And he had always had a dream of opening a grocery store, and he opened up a few grocery stores, not at the same time, but one here, and then sold that one, and opened another one, and then opened another one, and opened another one. He spent most of his time in Chicago as a grocer. And the grocery store that I remember the most was Nino's at 3406 North Halsted.
Oh, wow.
The store that he owned when I was born was actually, he didn't own one when I was born. Shortly after that, he opened one on Wisconsin and Bissell. That's in Chicago. That's by Armitage and Halsted. But he had spent most of his time as a grocer. No English, no education, no real college skill set, no grammar school, and he became this this fixture in the grocery community here in terms of, I'm talking about bodeguero, old school bodegueros, fruterias, et cetera, et cetera. So that's his history. That was my dad, and I grew up in those stores. I was working the register when I was 10, and I was, stocking shelves when I was 11. And I remember as a much younger kid making his signs, right?
Oh,
he
wow.
said, I would make the signs for what was on sale and what wasn't on sale.
Oh,
So
wow.
that was my marketing 101 right there.
Wow, right
Yeah.
there. You learned marketing
Yeah,
for real.
right there was my marketing
Grassroots.
101. And my dad was robbed. We were robbed a lot. We had grocery stores in neighborhoods that at that time were a little tough.
Sure.
And but he was an amazing a business person. The word entrepreneur probably didn't exist at that time. Small business administration didn't exist at that time. You saw a property, you opened it up, and that's why these pop-up businesses that keep, the other day I was at the grand opening for Smash Burger.
Oh, yeah.
Jibarito Smash Burger, and they opened up on Division and Maplewood last week, and it was kind of a cool thing to see because I saw those guys selling smash burgers on the street.
I need to try one. I've heard of it. I haven't tried it yet.
Their Smash Jibarito is amazing, but I saw those guys selling these things on the street.
Yeah.
And now to see them in a brick and mortar.
Yeah.
Right? You know what I mean? The same thing with the restaurant we're in now. So we're in this restaurant as we speak right now, and it's called Fresno's. Well, I found out that Fresno's is the town that she is from in Oaxaca. Okay. But the beautiful part of this story is that she was a cook at a very well-known Chicago restaurant. You guys know about the Ponce chain, the Ponce family of restaurants. And that owner, mentored her into her own place. And that's unusual to have an owner of a restaurant say, yes, it's okay, fly. You can fly. You can take this skill set and you can fly. That's a big deal. And so here we are sitting in the restaurant, owned by a person that probably cooked for many of us over the last 14 years, and she's able to have her own place now.
Yeah.
So that's
beautiful.
the beauty of a small business, right?
Yeah.
Is you get your family together, your friends together. You only need one person to believe in you. You do not need an army. You do not need an army. And I got news for you. The bottom line is that so many times I get small business people that say to me, oh, man, you know, I don't know, man. I don't know. What happens if I fail? So what?
Yep.
So what? If you fail, you fail. It's a big deal. You can't go to jail. Nobody's going to beat you up. Nobody's going to not love you because your restaurant failed, because your car wash failed, because your accounting firm failed.
Yeah.
It's okay. Life goes on. But your other option is to never do it and wonder what it could have been like.
Yeah,
Right?
that
Right?
that would be definitely. I mean,
That's where it gets like,
well, that's where they say like most dreams you could find them at cemeteries.
yeah.
Because that's a bunch of people that never took a shot on themselves, right? So, are you a firm believer that leaders create leaders?
100%. Leaders create leaders, and here's the thing, right? So you got to find yourself that group of people that believes in you no matter how wacky your idea is. I mean, I know this is going to sound kind of weird, right? But if somebody says, hey, I'm going to open an ice cream shop that only tailors to unicorns.
Hey,
Open it. It's going to do well. Okay. The reality of it is that, you know, if it's your dream, that's the best part about it. It came from you. You're developing yourself. You created it yourself. You thought of it yourself, and chances are, you know, it's going to do well. You haven't given it a chance. You haven't opened the box.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. And there was something we had a meeting offline last week, right? When we got together, and you said something that stuck to me is about rejection.
Yeah.
And you're not new to rejection. You've been rejected before you became who you are now. There was multiple times that you got rejected. Can you tell us a little bit about that story?
Yeah. So I think that, you know, so first of all, when I started doing Latino comedy and I started shopping around, you know, people have said to me over the years, how come your comedy shows are at Joe's on Weed Street? How come they're at Joe's Live with all these other venues that are owned here in the city? Because it was Joe's Live that gave me my shot. No venue would give me an opportunity to do Latino comedy. No venue in the city would give me the opportunity. No venue in the city would mentor me. I didn't know anything about running a venue. I wanted to put people on stage. That's all I knew. So that loyalty came because that loyalty that I have comes from the fact that this room, that this venue said, hey, bring it here. And I messed up a lot. And before we got to Joe's, they would tell me no a lot. Before we were able to do a show in New York City that sold out in New York City for, I want to say, 28, 30 performances. Can't remember the number. Those people said no to me about 7 or 8 times.
Wow.
They said no. And then when they said yes, we killed it. We killed it. So the thing is that when they say no, you say, watch me.
Yeah.
Okay. Because, I cannot tell you the amount of rejections, the amount of, I'm going to tell you something interesting. And maybe it speaks to my talent or maybe not, or maybe it's just kind of like God saying, nah, we want you for other things.
Yeah.
You know that I've gone on 50 auditions for shows.
Really?
I've never gotten a yes, ever.
Really?
Ever. But the yeses that I did get were bigger than I expected.
Wow.
So, that's interesting.
Well, I mean, it kind of
speaks. It doesn't speak well of my talent.
But
I've gone. I mean, I've done all kinds of auditions. I mean, no. So
really,
yeah.
So auditions for being a comic,
Commercials.
Commercial,
No,
okay, voiceover,
no, commercials, and no, I did some voiceover. I did Blockbuster.
Okay.
And I did a mattress company. So that just shows you they wanted the voice, they didn't want the face anyway.
Okay.
But yeah, I've over the years, over the last 25 years, I've gone on 50 auditions I didn't get, but I got better stuff.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? I got better stuff. And here I am. I'm almost 60 years old. I'm doing events for corporate events for IBM. I just did TikTok headquarters.
Oh wow, that's pretty cool.
Zurich Insurance. So I'm getting other stuff, but I think maybe that's God's way of saying, no, Papa, no, you belong over here.
Yeah.
You know, like you belong here. You just stay right here. You're good right there. Cálmate. All right.
Yeah, like there's always your path, and it's gonna be your path no matter what. Like whether you believe God or universe or whatever, right? It's gonna come to you the way it's supposed to come
Yeah.
to you, no matter what, right?
Yeah.
You could probably like tell
Yeah.
us about that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you've been in the industry for so long, and to say that you've been rejected so many times, but yet you're like Watchmen. You keep going and you keep doing, you keep pushing, and you keep opening doors for people.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, right? So the king maker, not the king. And I'm really successful at that. I had a conversation with a young lady in February at a Panera Bread, 90-minute conversation. 2 days later, I called her. We're writing your story. You're writing your story. I'm going to put your story on stage. And within a month, we were ready for that. And now her one-woman show opens in November.
Wow.
Okay. So, you know, I'm happy to do that because I see that in you. If you say to me, okay, if you say to me, you have an idea and you're gung-ho about it, but maybe you need a little help, I'm going to help you. But I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go. A 9 o'clock meeting is a 9 o'clock meeting.
Sure.
If we're ready to do this, let's do this. If you're in, you're in. And if you're not,
Yeah, that makes
know,
sense.
but-
Well, the ball's rolling. You're rolling,
Yeah.
right? You're moving. So
Yeah,
jump
yeah.
on the bandwagon or,
Yeah.
or leave me alone. You know.
Yeah. And again, like Fluffy said, I may not be the best. Okay, I've been highly criticized, by other comedians and stuff like that. But I know what I want,
Yeah.
right? And I also know the biggest thing you need to always know, whether it's comedy, whether it's whatever business, and I think most business people know this, you always have to be able to identify early on your liabilities.
Mm.
You have to identify that. You have to be able to say, he's funny, I like him, but he's a risk.
Wow.
He's funny, I like him, but or her, but it's not a good relationship. That does not make them unfunny, and that doesn't mean I don't like them. It's not a good fit for me.
That makes sense.
You follow me?
Yes.
And I'm sure this happens in dating, right? Nice person, wonderful person, going to make somebody very happy, but I'm out.
Yeah.
Right? So that relationship, understanding early on your liabilities and what isn't you. What isn't you? I was invited to do a show a couple of weeks ago. It immediately turned political. The pay was good. I called the people the next day and I said, I can't do that show because the people doing that show don't want people who look like me in this country overall. You got it? The people who own that venue, that is. The people who own that venue, right, support people who don't want me in this country. I can't do that. Like it won't sit right. I'm not even gonna have a fun time with that show.
Yeah. And I guess this is a good way, and we could talk about this, right? How do you as a business, you have to preserve your relationships and your credibility, right? And I'm sure you do that all the time. You maneuver and reject people, and you're kind of like, no, like how important is that to make sure you're aligned with the right people?
Yeah. There was a you have to understand that, especially if you are the owner of your business or the owner of your, whatever it is that you're doing, you have to understand that this carries your name.
Yeah.
This carries your name. This carries your brand. So if a comedian or if I'm doing a concert and I've got an issue with the way that the performers are treating my audience, nobody really is going to go back and say, oh my God, the performer did this. I was at the Mikey O show, girl, and let me tell you what they did to me.
Oh, wow.
I was at the Mikey O show, bro, and let me tell you what they did to me. That's what the brand is. I brought these people into a room and I'm responsible, when your brand is on something, you have to defend that brand to the teeth. And then again, no need for enemies. This isn't a good relationship. This isn't a good fit. You're good.
Yeah.
God bless you. I hope you make $1 million.
Yeah.
I hope you blow it out of the water.
Yeah.
But it's not a good place for me.
Yeah.
And I got to go. We're good. we're good, but it's not for me.
Yeah, because I think when someone starts in business, they're like, I want to put my name everywhere. I want to align myself with everyone. I want to, right?
Yeah.
Like you could so easily fall into that trap. But I mean, now me even looking is like, nah, I can't mess with you guys. You know, like I can't really put my name on that over there, right? I have to be really mindful of where I'm putting myself and what spaces I'm putting myself in to protect it. You know,
Yeah.
protect the brand. Because you grow. How many years you've been in business? 28 years.
23 years as a branded business.
Okay.
28 years in the game.
So can you imagine? Like it could be detrimental if you partnered with the wrong person 10 years ago. Would you still be here?
Yeah. And we've had problems where we've partnered with the wrong people.
Okay.
Because we tried to give people an opportunity. You follow me?
Oh, yeah.
Now, here's the deal. I am responsible for those relationships. If I got in them, I'm
Yeah.
responsible for those relationships.
Yeah.
So I don't blame anybody. I don't cry about it. We, thank God, we are not as active in the commercial comedy scene as we were in the past. We are doing more private, more corporate, and more of the nonprofit work because I did not want to abandon the nonprofit work. Why? Because it's the nonprofits that gave us our early audiences.
Yeah. Yeah.
And put us where we're at.
Yeah.
So we haven't abandoned that. But now we're older, we're more mature, we're
Yeah.
more business experienced, and we have to be more selective with the relationships.
That makes
The
sense.
Cubs
Yeah.
and the White Sox,
Yeah.
we get those phone calls.
Yeah.
We get the phone calls from about 70% of the Latino organizations in Chicago.
Okay.
We get the phone calls. You know, we're doing a show in New York. We're doing a show in New York in September. A week later, we're in Puerto Rico. A week after that, we're back in New York.
Wow.
We're back here. You know, the thing is maintaining relationships.
Yeah.
Where everybody wins is the name of the game. And how do we keep the phone ringing? You know,
Wow.
how do we keep the phone ringing? So there is that. But again, what I want to leave people with is this: if relationships aren't working out for you, in terms of business partners, other organizations, vendor partnerships, they're not working out for you. It's
Yeah.
completely okay to dissolve those and walk away. Stick to what you believe in and stick to the rules. Okay. They're going to talk about you. That's okay. Let them talk about you.
Yeah.
But stick to the rules. Stick to your values.
Yeah. So tell us what's coming. What's coming for Mike Yo show and all that. You know, even your own personal things with your business. What's coming up so that the viewers know and the listeners know.
Well, here's the thing. If you are a small business owner right now, I would really love for you to join me next Thursday, the 28th. We're looking for business mentors to come out next Thursday, 5:30 p.m. And we'll put the information up to make sure you have it. But there's an opportunity for you to come out and share your experiences as a small business to help other small business startups that may be stuck. Okay, so this isn't a networking event. This is an opportunity to fill a room with current business people and people that are starting a business to help unstuck people. So maybe you're a small business, right, that has that is stuck in the area of business licensing. Maybe you can tell them your journey, how you did it, or business insurance. Tell them your journey, how you did it. So we're desperately seeking mentors to come out next Thursday. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to pull up the exact address because I forgot it. But if you're able to join us next Thursday, it's a great opportunity. Sorry about this, everybody.
Is it this?
Yep, I got it right here.
Okay.
We'll be at 2036 North Avers, 2036 North Avers in the Field House. It'll be 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. By the way, we're going to feed you. We're going to give you a little cafecito. And it's put together by New Life Centers, Abundant Life Program. And we're just looking for people to join us as a mentor. It's a great opportunity for you to share your experiences. You're never done being mentored. I am still mentored. There are CEOs of multi-million-dollar corporations that are still mentored. So a business mentor is very, very important. So please, if you can, come out next Thursday. On the other hand, I'd love to tell you about my comedy shows. Go to MikeyOShow.com, MikeyOShow.com, and join us at a show. And That's what's happening.
Yeah, it's a lot of busy stuff. You
Lot
do
of
a
stuff, yeah.
lot, which is great. But I think bottom line from what it sounds like is don't give up.
Yeah.
You know, your message today was keep pushing through, right? And you say it really good. You say, watch me. How do you say
Yeah.
it?
When
Is
they say no, you say, watch me.
Yeah, I think that's a great saying for anyone that's watching. And again, take advantage of the mentorship program. And then the other events that you have going on. And then you like to go to restaurants all the time, right?
I'm
You're
in
a big,
restaurants all the time, yeah.
you say, I love one thing that you post on your post. You say, forgive me, Father, for I am fat.
Forgive me, Father, for I am fat. Yeah.
And I think every time I eat something, I think of that now. I'm like, oh man, this is great though. But it's a good saying. I mean, it's always good to support the small business owner, the entrepreneur, the restaurant, right? So we definitely appreciate that.
Yeah. One of the things I'm going to leave you guys with this. One of the things that I would love to do, if I have the time, I really would love to do that. I would love to do a list of like really expensive places, commercial places that people eat at, and then give them the neighborhood equivalents.
Oh, wow.
Right?
That's super cool.
You see what I'm saying to you?
Yes.
So for example, I'll give you an example. Yeah, you can go to a steakhouse downtown. You can go to, you can go to Maestro's. You can go to Gibson's. But have you had the steak at La Parra in Berwyn on Cermak? Have you had that steak, right? Have you had the steak at the Golden Steer? Have you had the steak at Nyandu, right? So give people the neighborhood equivalents of that so
Yeah.
that they understand. Somebody told me the other day, oh my God, we went downtown. We had an amazing dinner at a Mexican restaurant. It wasn't bad. For 4 of us, it was $374. I can go to Pilsen for 10 days and eat for $374.
For sure. I'm like, for sure.
I can come to Fresno's and have their mama's mole plate con un tamal oaxaqueño, and some fresas and strawberries for about $30.
Look
So
at that.
consider that.
Yeah, I love that. That's a great idea, actually, to do something like that.
I got a million ideas, okay?
That's a great idea. And I'll add in there, make sure you have great mirrors in the bathroom. I'm just saying, that's one of the aesthetics. I think restaurants, they forget about the aesthetics for the young people.
Yeah.
Like restaurants now, it's like if you don't have the right aesthetics for them to take pictures, sometimes it's like, I know the food's great. I love the food, but sometimes younger people just go for the pictures and the aesthetics. And they're your Google reviewers. They're your Facebook reviewers. They're your bosses, essentially, right? Your clients. So something to throw out there too, right? But again, thank you, Mikey, for being here today.
So much fun.
It was. The food, the coffee's delicious. Thank you for just sharing your wisdom, and thank you everyone that watched today and joined us, whether it's on audio or visual. We appreciate you being here with us. So make sure you catch us next week, same time, same place, Monday at 10 a.m. WRMN 1410. Check them out online. Go to the website. Check out all the other shows going on too as well. So thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you guys. Talk to you guys soon.